Guys, Gus Letter here. Welcome to a new 3 vlog for The Walking Dead. I'm a huge fan of it, but here's one thing that I would like to see in the show. So, I'm really hoping that, season 3 of, how season 2 ended with either you choosing to kill the girl with that girl, or Kenny. I'm thinking that if season 3 does come out, I'm thinking that with the episodes going on, I know that Clementine is getting dropped off at a community. I can see that. But if it's the Alexandria safe zone, I'm going to be crapping my pants. Because the Alexandria safe zone is like where we found Rick in season 5 and everything else. Well, that's what I heard. Hold on, let me just get this thing off me. So, if we see Clementine run into Rick at any point of the show, if we get to see Clementine in that, and she goes along with their group for a few seasons, and then Clementine says, I have to go look for the rest of my group. I'd actually be happy with that, because seeing Clementine in the show and getting her to interact with the main group, I was hoping that Lee survived, in the first season of the Walking Dead game, and, Kim going on to meet Rick and everybody else, and, going on with him for the rest of the seasons, and then dying in one season, from a gunshot, or from walkers, or even just from a death from natural causes, him getting cut open, or him getting cut by a knife, and then surviving the wound, killing the person, and then going on to die from infection because they don't have the right antibiotics to treat it. Or even seeing Kenny meet up with Rick, or even forming his own group and joining Rick's group, and then continuing on down the road with Rick for a few 20 or 50 episodes, and then dying off, his group, or him dying off, him getting shot on the forehead because he betrayed Rick's group, and was executed by either actually Rick or Glenn, because I know Glenn is the main supply runner for Rick's group. In the comic books, I know Glenn dies. He dies by Negan. But imagine a world without Negan. If they don't follow the storyline with Negan and everything else, and they let most of the characters live, because I know they're not going to kill off Glenn. Because if they do that, they lose their supply runner. And there's nobody faster than Glenn, because, he's good. He runs fast. He has better build-up. He's a better stamina type than... He has stamina on his side. So, if we see something happen to Glenn, like we did in, Season 4, where he was left behind in that place, I wouldn't be surprised if, Glenn accidentally gets hit by a car, or even stabbed by Negan. But I'm suspecting that that baseball bat that we saw, that was a little teaser nodding towards Negan and whatever his baseball bat name was. But I'm surprised to see if Glenn does get killed off. This went into a whole different... So, if Clementine does join Rick's group, I'm expecting to see some cool scenes, some, some character development with her, and, then, telling her backstory to Rick, and, having some flashbacks with Lee and the other group. I'm surprised if they do that, because if they do that, I'm going to be wow, they actually listen to my thing, because I'm hoping that they show Clementine in the show. Finding a perfect person to star Clementine, and having her iconic hat, too. Having that same exact hat. And then, having the iconic vest that, having her character, telling her the backstory of her being a little sweet girl back before the apocalypse. Then her finding Lee teaching her how to be hard and all of that. Telling her how to fire a gun and everything. And her going down the thing, and then the characters learn that she's gone through a lot of hard times just like them. Then they'll just accept her like one of the other members of the group, because they know people going through hard times are having a hard, difficult time finding other humans that aren't going to shoot them right in the forehead and then walk off and leave them for dead. That's one of the main reasons that Rick is hard on Carl, because he doesn't want Carl to turn into the same way. If Carl and Clementine meet, she's going to tell him her backstory, and he's going to be like, wow, you guys had you had a lot harder time than I did. Watching all of her friends die. And, like, I know Carl killed his own mom just so that she wouldn't turn into a walker. But, what the fuck? We know Clementine's parents died at the hospital. We know Clementine's dad was infected. Well, that's all for this episode, guys. See you in the next vid. Bye. 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 Yeah, that's right.